up towards noon in Hirsch, Saskatchewan. It's Thursday, July 21st, 2016, and there she goes, booting it eastbound down Highway 18, maybe towards Oxbow, 30k away. That looks like an old skid shack. These and trailer houses dotted the town site back from the mid-50s when Gulf Canada and Imperial Oil were punching holes in the ground trying to get at what is now recognized as Bakken oil, about 4,500 feet below our feet here. And coming around to look northbound up the Hirsch access road. Let's just follow it up to the CPR tracks. And we are standing in what was likely Railway Avenue, and this is the last remaining store building in Hirsch, now a residence, maybe the post office. W.H. Baker opened the post office on December the 1st, 1893. It was closed March 31st, 1970. Elevators stood right along in here. There was only two of them. Imperial Elevator and Lumber and Alameda Farmers Elevator and Trading, both built in 1912. Imperial closed in 1916, and Saskatchewan Wheat Pool built their 822nd elevator here in 1929. It was the Saskatchewan Wheat Pool that closed the two elevators in 1980, and as you can see, they're long gone. The station stood on the other side of the tracks over there. It was a portable, and nobody remembers when it was dropped off at mile 137.5 from Kemnay on the main line near Brandon, Manitoba. It was sold off in 1972. On the other side of the tracks over there, there was a water tower in the days of steam. And coming around to look sort of eastward down what may be Railway Avenue, it ends at Range Road 52 west of the 2nd down there. And if you're wondering what weight steel there is on this line, well, there you go. Dang, antique steel too. This is the Canadian Pacific's Estevan sub, 156.1 miles from Kenmay to Estevan. The first revenue train on this line ran on August the 1st, 1892. Tallest object for miles is CPR's communication tower here. Station would have stood right in here. Just a simple little affair with a freight shed. And somebody's farm. And Estevan is that away, 18.6 rail miles. Hirsch was never incorporated. It is a hamlet, ward of the RM of Coalfields, number 4. Oh, there was a grand old house standing here until not too long ago. One of the dozens that are now missing. More ruined buildings, it seems, in Hirsch than there are habitable places. Almost a ghost. Oh, except for the pinto ponies. A couple of old John Deeres that have earned their rest. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Fine collection. Tons and 3 tons, Fords and GMCs and Chevs and Mercuries. No Fargos. And even more. This is all undifferentiated glacial till-in through here. Some pretty good farmland and some rough pasturage. This is what they call the Souris River Plains of the moist mixed grass ecoregion. Most of the soil is loam textured dark brown. stuff. Ooh, hiding in the bushes. And the oldest synagogue in Saskatchewan. Now a residence. So the synagogue hints at the most interesting thing about Hirsch, that it was founded by the Young Men's Hebrew Benevolent Society out of Montreal, an arm of the Jewish Colonization Association, which was funded by the philanthropist Morris Baron de Hirsch. Escaping ethnic cleansing initiatives in Eastern Europe, 47 families arrived here in the spring of 1892 to form a farming colony, and they did. They struggled through the 30s, and there was a significant population here even into the 50s, and I think the last farmer retired off the land in the 1970s or 80s. This graveyard is about 4 miles west along the highway from the town site. Not all members of the original 47 families were able to suffer staying in the colony. The winters were really harsh out here. The land was hard to break, hard to get crops out of, so some of them retreated back east or to the larger centers where there was more opportunity, better education for their children. Others assumed their old trades or learned new ones and stayed in the region in the smaller towns and villages. This is Treaty 2 territory, also known as the Manitoba Post or the Stone Fort Treaty, signed on August 21st, 1871 by Commissioner Simpson on behalf of Queen Victoria and the Anishinaabe, Chippewa, and Swampy Cree people, who were quite surprised to realize that the newcomers' interpretation of share the land meant occupying the land to the exclusion of the indigenous peoples. I wanted to note that in its peak years in the 1920s, the population of Hirsch was about 200 folks. There was a school, a hotel, and 3 stores, and a couple of dozen houses standing on the grid that the CPR laid out perpendicular to its rail line, as in so many prairie communities. The storekeepers are remembered as Samuel Adler, Jacob Lubinsky, Saul Moskovich, and Sam Rabinowitz. In Hirsch, Saskatchewan.